The OKC Thunder have witnessed Josh Giddey go on an epic 54-game stint during his rookie season, which featured the Australian guard winning every Western Conference Rookie of the Month award before he was shut down for the rest of the year, while also recording the 4 youngest triple-doubles in NBA history as a 19-year-old. Because of this, expectations for him entering his second NBA season just started to skyrocket. However, during the first month and a half of the season, those same expectations caused a lot of fans to accuse Giddey of hitting a sophomore slump, as despite his overall raw numbers still looking solid, he only shot more than 45% from the field and 25.5% from 3 during the first 19 games of the season. The good thing is, as of the moment, that same narrative simply can't be applied to him anymore because of the big surge in his quality of play over his last 16 games. And as a Thunder fan myself, I know for a fact that this actually is the best month-long stretch that Giddey's ever had in his young NBA career, as since the month of December began, he's put up much improved stats of more than 16 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 5.4 assists, while shooting more than 49% from the field and a highly efficient 45.5% from behind the arc. So what's good everyone, it's Real Balls here, and today we'll dive into the different layers of Josh Giddey's improvements this season and why it looks like he's only getting started for the OKC Thunder. But one sec, if you guys do enjoy this video, please do me a favor by hitting that like button. It only takes a second of your time, but it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. A major point of emphasis for Josh Giddey entering his second season was an improvement with his jump shooting, particularly with his three-point shot, as during his rookie year, his 26.3% mark from 3 was actually the worst among all players who attempted at least 100 outside shots last season. Then again, early this 2022 to 2023, after OKC's game against the Spurs on the 30th of November, Giddey's three-point percentage actually hit 25.5%, which was even way below his mark last season. But again, since December 1, Giddey has been shooting 45.5% from deep on 3.7 attempts per game. Not only is he having the best 16-game outside shooting stretch of his career, as he's never even shot above 34% from 3 over a 10-game sample size before, but since December, his three-point percentage also ranks in the 85th percentile among all 189 players to attempt at least 3 outside shots per game in the entire NBA. Which means Giddey has basically been one of the best three-point shooters in the entire league over the past month or so, and I think we can all assume that OKC's hiring of longtime San Antonio shooting coach Chip England has got to do with a lot of this. Well, first, based on the eye test, I think Giddey's lower body and shot base just looks stronger as compared to last season, and you'd also notice that his shooting motion just looks more natural this time rather than being sort of the kind of push shot that he had as a rookie. But aside from the improved shot mechanics, I think his shooting surge as of late is also highly because of how Giddey hasn't really been forcing those outside shots, as this season, three-point attempts have only occupied under 23% of his shot diet as opposed to the 31.8% outside shot frequency he had last season. And to further quantify that, currently a huge 91.4% of his made three-pointers have been assisted, which is way up from the 82.1 three-point assist rate he received as a rookie. All those stats just tell us that Giddey's basically letting the shots come to him in rhythm rather than forcing looks, and overall it looks like Chip England didn't just teach him how to shoot, but also when the right time to shoot is. But most importantly, the numbers just really back up his improved mechanics, especially as a catch-and-shoot guy, which to be fair is mostly the three-point shooting role he's expected to play in OKC right now. Because according to PBP stats shot tracking data, Giddey's currently shooting a solid 41.8% on unguarded catch-and-shoot three-point attempts. But even when he's guarded more heavily, he's still shooting a decent 35.1% on threes with a defender right in front of him. And overall, Giddey's been shooting an above league average 36.7% of all his spot-up three-point attempts this season. But to be honest, at some point, Giddey will have to improve in creating his own looks from the perimeter, as he's shooting just 23.5% on pull-up three-point shots this season. But again, I think you just gotta love that his catch-and-shoot numbers as of late already provides a promising long-term shooting outlook for him as part of a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander-centric OKC Thunder Thunder offense. However, Josh Giddey's improvements this season also extend inside the arc. As a 6'8" point guard, Giddey's starting to figure out the best ways to use his size advantage, and I think it all starts with his newfound aggression as a downhill driver this season. Well, looking at it, his drives per game right now are actually down a bit compared to last season, but I think the difference is there's just more exploration happening when he's attacking the paint. After attempting only 4.6 shots off drives last season, that number is up to 5.6 shots off drives per game this year. Plus, Giddey actually passed to a teammate on almost 50% of his drives last season, but that number is down to only 38.5% this year. Well, the thing is, even as a rookie, Giddey's go-to scoring move was always his mid-range floater, but watching him this season, I think the first thing that stands out to me is how he has manufactured those floaters much more easily. Giddey's just looking sharper with his screen navigation and footwork, plus his size together with the 10 pounds he added over the offseason has really been helping him rise up for those floaters even after initially getting bumped while getting downhill. Just like here, watch how Giddey runs the pick and roll with J. Will. He takes advantage of the screen by quickly attacking his man, then you can see him protecting the ball with his body while absorbing contact, but then he pivots and easily hits the 10-foot floater over the smaller defender. Then this time, you can see Shai doing a great job of setting the screen for Giddey, then watch Giddey with the stutter step, then he just backs his man down a bit before using his size to drain the tightly contested floater. Well, for a ball handler like Giddey who doesn't really have an explosive first step, you would understand why the floater has been his go-to scoring move and why he has really favored those mid-range kinds of looks. But the good news is, as of late, you could also see how he has been much improved in terms of getting deeper in the paint. It's no coincidence that during his first 19 games of the year, Giddey has only shot 46% on shots coming off drives, but since December 1, that has actually been up to 50.5%. And a lot of that has got to do with him getting to the rim much more often and getting higher efficiency looks while relying less on those 5 to 10 foot floaters. Well, I think a huge factor for this is Giddey's much improved handle. He's just been able to shield off defenders a lot better and is not allowing himself to get cut off easily unlike when he was a rookie. Another thing is, although he's a 6'8" point guard, he's also gotten better in terms of gaining lower ground on his defender and using his shoulder to create space when he's driving. Right here, you can see Giddey on the wing getting the pass from Lu Dort. Watch how he doesn't give Anthony Edwards time to close out as he just attacks before actually using the contact to turn the corner and to finish all the way at the rim. Then here from the top of the key, Giddey uses Poku's screen to build momentum on his drive. The defender catches up, but watch him go low with the hesitation dribble as his size allows him to sneak right into the basket. And as a result of those improvements, Giddey's shooting 63.2% at the rim this season on 5.4 attempts, which is actually the 5th highest mark among all guards who are attempting at least 5 shots at the rim per game, only behind Luka Doncic, Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler, and Anthony Edwards. But for sure, Giddey's entire scoring attack still isn't perfect. He's been much better from behind the arc, but he still hasn't come to the point wherein defenses are changing the ways he's being guarded. At the same time, his newfound aggression as a driver is still limited by his 1.4 free throw attempts per game, which is practically the same as his 1.5 attempts per game from the foul line last season. But for now, he's already improving his scoring approach and scoring output in a lot of ways, and I think that itself is already a huge win for a 20-year-old player who's just in his second NBA season. Plus, what's even better is that Giddey's also complementing his improved aggression as a scorer by continuing his excellent play as a passer. And although his assist numbers are down a bit from last season, which is understandable with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's current availability, Giddey's great playmaking is still backed up by the advanced stats, as the 57.3 passes made per game he's averaging this season actually ranks 13th most in the NBA, while the 13.4 assist points per game he's generating also ranks in the 91st percentile of the entire league. And I think a lot of this has got to do with OKC's 4-guard starting lineup of Shai, Giddey, Lu Dort, and J-Dub being able to learn how to read the floor alongside one another, while in general, OKC's offensive schemes are just really built on a lot of off-ball player movement and off-ball screening, which in turn complements both SGA and Giddey's vertical attacking playstyle, which seems to be working just fine, as OKC is currently generating .98 points per possession on plays which involve involve off-ball screens, ranking as the 8th most in the entire NBA. Well, obviously, Shai is the team's primary initiator, but Josh Giddey is without a doubt OKC's main connector, a player who has the perfect mix of size, skill, and vision needed to throw the perfect pass while his teammates move around and find the perfect spots to receive the ball on the floor. Just like here, J-Dub feeds the ball to Giddey in the high post, then you can see Shai setting up J-Dub with a quick go screen. Giddey throws the one-handed laser pass in the paint as J-Dub goes for the up fake and the easy finish underneath. Then here, during early offense on the weak side, watch Poku set the go screen for Shai. Shai cuts right into the paint and Giddey delivers the well-timed pass for another easy finish at the basket. Well, I really don't have an idea about how good Josh Giddey will be in about 5 years, but all I know is that the ceiling is really high for a 6'8" point guard like him, who at 20 years of age can already throw passes at an elite level, who can also rebound, play defense, and get buckets in his own ways. Give him a little bit more time, and without a doubt, Josh Giddey could end up as one of the most versatile number 2 or number 3 options in a playoff-ready OKC Thunder team. So thank you guys if you made it this far into the video, but if I were to ask you, where do you see Josh Giddey in a couple of years? Do you project him as OKC's long-term number 2 option, number 3 option, or do you even see him as a number 1 option for the team? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Real Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.